that we've only got a few more days left. But I've been around Rotary for 45 years. Been president of the Farmington Rotary Club a number of times. We won't get into that.
No.
I can't handle the math. The other part is as district governor, that was 20 years ago almost. So time you're having fun, therefore I'm a really fun guy. Unfortunately, like Nadal, I haven't had an opportunity or ability to be able to do the international service side of Rotary, which I would like to do, but especially right now, I'm well locked down because I'm in that age group where it's not advised to be out and about in groups.
No. Well, Michigan's doing a good job.
You know, just stay home and maintain the good things that are happening here.
Yep.
Yeah, be safe. Definitely. It's so scary nowadays. It's getting crazy, and we are, you know, take care of your health right now. But we can still do things, you know. I mean, we're not going to stop helping the world. Yeah.
Okay.
You want to tell us about your pet behind you there, Lynn?
I was just going to mention that because for those that know me, that might not look true to character. Huh?
No.
You're breeding rabbits.
I've been known to attend a Playboy restaurant facility. The first one, for the interest of the story, was in about 1960 or 1961, just before I went into the service. I always liked the bunny.
Okay, then we'll move on and ask Cynthia to give us a little background.
Okay. I'd rather hear Lynn's story. I think that sounds interesting.
No, you want to visit the club.
Well, for those that I don't know, although I think except for Stephen, I know all of you, but so I'm Cindy Hill. I'm the assistant governor for sector, I don't know what we are. Lynn, Bill, are we 8 or
28?
not? I think we might be.
I think it's 8.
Yeah, but I think we're changing.
Yep,
Next
I heard
year.
you are.
So we're adding a few more clubs to our sectors. So it's going to be Bloomfield Hills, Southfield, Farmington, Lakes, and Novi. Those will be our clubs for next year.
And, heavy load.
Pardon me?
That's a heavy load.
Well, you know, it probably is going to be sort of easy because I'm not going to be driving. I'm just going to be Zooming. And so for a while anyway, I think. But
Well, at least for Farmington, you will.
yeah. Well, I'm glad that you've decided to do that because what I've seen with your Zoom meetings is that you are getting good attendance and you're having some good dialogue and good discussions. And so I think that's great that you're going to go that route. I especially like it because unless you go back to 7 a.m., which then I will be coming in my
No way.
Don't do that, folks.
Yeah, please. No. This is
Yeah,
not like
no.
that. Like
It's
that.
pretty daunting, especially in the winter, to make those meetings. But
Yeah, I was discussing this with Nidal, in fact, and Nidal says she would much rather have an evening or a late
I would
afternoon
attend.
meeting.
I am on every time, almost.
so, Nadal, are you going to then renew your membership or?
Absolutely. If
rejoin?
it's
That's
evening,
great.
yes, with my pleasure. And I love, you know, frankly, you both were very nice, and you gave me opportunity to do, both of you, an introduction. Hopefully people will get to know and we will help more people. That's the goal. It doesn't
Sure.
matter which country
Absolutely.
I am on. I'll be back on the 2nd. Lynn or Phil, you can just remind me and I will take care of everything. I can meet you for coffee at the Starbucks, 12 and Orchard, and I'm on, definitely, with my pleasure.
Okay, I'll just move on. There's the last one here who's not showing video. Stephen, if I see you're unmuted, so if you don't mind, give us a little bit of background on yourself. Introduce us to you and your business. Unless he doesn't want to talk either. Stephen, have you actually gone? I think he may actually have. As soon as
No,
I
he's still there. It
mentioned-
shows it's muted.
Yep, he's muted.
I'm gonna
Oh.
bring you two new more members. Just sorry for interruption. I'm
Oh,
gonna
no
bring
problem. Go ahead.
two new members. They both live in West Bloomfield. One is a lawyer, one is a doctor. Two of my board members. So they will join when I come back, just to tell you.
That'd be good.
All right.
Stephen, if you can hear me, we're asking if you'd like to introduce yourself. Tell us a little about yourself, your family, and your business. Well, we can move on. Lynn, do you want to say anything before we start? I was going to do some little background stuff, sharing videos if you'd like.
Can you put me on share screen?
I can go find you and do just that, I believe. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can share you.
Stephen is unmuted now.
Hey, Stephen, are you ready to talk to us?
Maybe technical.
Maybe
No.
technic-
I think that's how I started. I think he has to press a button to be able to get the audio. I think that's how I didn't.
Okay,
I
Lynn,
couldn't get you.
you should have the share option.
Right. Let's see here. Maybe I can, maybe I can't.
Bottom in the middle.
You should be able to, so if you can't see it, it should be down at the bottom of your screen. While Lynn's searching for that, I also was going to do some sharing, and I hope I'm not stealing Lynn's thunder. I hope you realized, all of you, that the Rotary International Convention is still going on.
Mhm.
It's been going on for the last few days, and it will continue into July. And one of the things I was going to share with you is a little bit of video that came from the opening part of the convention. So if Lynn's not going to do that, if you're not ready, Lynn, or?
Well, I've got the screen up that I want to share.
Then
So,
can you find the share button at the bottom of your screen?
yeah, right now it's off my screen. So,
It's up to you. I can move on to mine for the moment while you play, or what do you think?
move on to yours.
Okay. Can you see one that says Rotary Connects the World?
We can.
It's a video. It's a fairly long video. You can see the thing is, I don't know if you can see it at the bottom, but it's an hour and 58 minutes. I was only going to do 2 or 3 little pieces out of it. The first one is an introduction to the whole thing. So I'm going to play that for a few minutes, and we can all talk over it. So if you want me to stop the video at any point, I can do that. But I was going to play it right now.
Possibilities are all around us.
Can you hear the audio?
That's very good.
Everywhere we look, we see opportunity. We see potential in unexpected places. And when we share our knowledge, vision, and connections, we turn great ideas into action. In communities all around the world, that we call home. Like transforming an old bus to feed hungry children, or providing life-saving equipment to those who need it most. From fighting disease to rebuilding schools, together we can make real change happen. We're Rotary. We are people of action. Get involved today at Rotary.org.
I'll come back to that again. There's another couple of segments, one with Mark Maloney at the convention, well, in the virtual convention, talking to it. But Len, are you in a position where you can share yours?
No, I can't bring it up.
Ah, what a shame. Then let me go see if I can find the next part of mine, which was Mark Maloney. Again, it was only a few minutes. Let me see if I can find the exact spot.
I'll just make a couple of comments while you're searching for it.
Sure.
From our guest list here right now, it seems like the ladies are outnumbering the gentlemen.
And so it should be.
Over the years, I joined Rotary before women were allowed. And
So did I.
We finally learned.
that was in 19 whatever it was. But just the change of the world, but mostly the world of Rotary, has been so affected by the number of women who have taken the reins, started handling the projects, doing the projects. It has just really been amazing. And I can recall a number of circumstances where clubs didn't allow women to join for some time until legal challenges solved that problem. But from a personal point of view, and having tried to lead a Rotary club for a number of years, I really sense the true future of Rotary lies in the women's hands. So thank you for your participation and the work that you all have been doing.
Totally agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then I will show, no, I want that one. And I'll start the video. This particular part, I think, is only a couple of minutes, although it goes into something much nicer later that I can get back to.
For my wife, Gay, and for me, the past 33 months have been a remarkable Rotary journey, as I have served as president nominee, as president-elect, and ultimately as president of Rotary International. Until mid-March, Gay and I traveled on what seemed like every airline in the world, circumnavigating the world twice and moving between the northern and southern hemispheres. We loved connecting in person with Rotarians, Rotaractors, and the family of Rotary. Then the world changed due to the coronavirus pandemic. And like many of you, we have spent the last 3 months at home, an unexpected stretch of 90+ nights, unheard of for a Rotary president. Generations to come will recall how the world put global health ahead of individual pursuits. This emphasis on global health has led to many difficult decisions, including the cancellation of the in-person Rotary Convention in Honolulu. We had hoped to introduce Rotarians to the aloha spirit in Honolulu, where aloha is a way of life. Instead, we, the family of Rotary, have demonstrated the aloha spirit worldwide as we have cared for those most in need in this crisis. With a remarkable array of energy and resourcefulness, we have taken care of one another We have shared our resources, and we have stepped forward to make a significant difference. We had hoped to personally greet in Honolulu 20,000 plus Rotarians from around the world. Instead, we have been meeting virtually, and today we are celebrating with the full family of Rotary online. We particularly welcome our Rotaractors, many of whom would not have been able to travel to Honolulu. We continue to celebrate that Rotaractors are now full partners in the family of Rotary. We had hoped to hold the most family-friendly convention in history. Instead, we are at home connecting with our families as never before, taking care of all generations and responding to the essential needs of our families: health, education, and support. And at the same time, our families have joined in the humanitarian efforts of Rotary. And we had hoped to hold the most environmentally friendly convention in Rotary history. Guess what? We succeeded. We are holding a Rotary convention like no other, with no air travel, no hotel rooms, leaving a remarkably small carbon footprint. We continue to increase our commitment with the environment as part of every one of Rotary's areas of focus. We began this Rotary year promoting the importance of increasing our ability to adapt, a key point of the new action plan for all Rotarians and Rotaractors. Now we are putting that plan into action out of necessity. My number one emphasis this year has been to grow Rotary, to grow our service, to grow the impact of our projects, but most importantly, to grow our membership so that we can achieve more. It also means growing and expanding clubs with heightened ability to respond to needs. And we are seeing those clubs make such a huge impact around the world during this crisis. I have also emphasized that we need to grow Rotary by forming new and innovative Rotary clubs. I have been very excited that the 2019-2020 Aloha District Governors have achieved new milestones in the formation of new clubs this year. We have had a remarkable number of new clubs chartered during the pandemic. Now we are experiencing in real time how important it is to create new club experiences. I never expected all of us to have to experience this at once, but so much the better. Now we have a better understanding of growing Rotary by extending our reach beyond regular meetings focused on meals. Now it is up to us to bring all of the people of action in the world into the Rotary family. I have also emphasized the need to balance Rotary and family commitments. We must continue to open doors to families at events at every level of Rotary. Families provide the strong base from which we reach out to the community. And as this pandemic has illustrated, we treasure our families above all. We should never ask a member of the family of Rotary to choose between Rotary service and their family. And I have emphasized that we must build the path to Rotary leadership for those who remain actively involved in their professions. Over the last few months, our expectations for Rotary leadership have changed for our colleagues. We have proven that we can open our doors to Rotary leadership for our working colleagues, open our ears to different Rotary leadership, and open our minds to what our current and future members may find the most engaging. Rotarians, Rotaractors, and those within the family of Rotary want to serve humanity, not only during a crisis, but also for their lifetimes. Rotary offers something no other organization can match: an existing infrastructure which allows people from all over the world to connect in a spirit of service and peace. And we continue to do the essential work necessary to rid the world of polio. As an added value, our decades of work to eradicate polio will help address the coronavirus pandemic. The Polio Plus infrastructure will be critical once a coronavirus vaccine is ready. But make no mistake, we will rid the world of polio, and we are hopeful that Africa will be certified polio-free in the near future. This year, we are also celebrating the 75th anniversary of the United Nations. Next Friday, June 26th, marks the anniversary of the signing of the UN Charter, an accomplishment facilitated by many Rotarians. Whether we are working toward clean water, better health, improved education, or economic stability for the world's least privileged, Rotary shares the United Nations commitment to a healthier, more peaceful, and more sustainable world. Rotary allows us to connect with one another in deep and meaningful ways across our differences. It connects us with people we would never otherwise have met, who are more like us than we ever would have known. It connects us with our communities, to professional opportunities, and to the people who need our help. I am proud of how Rotary is answering the call of those in need and taking up a leadership role in every part of the world. I am proud of how Rotarians, Rotaractors, and all within the family of Rotary are improving lives and helping communities in a time of rapid transformation. I am proud of how Rotary connects the world through our mutual respect for our differences, as well as our appreciation for what we have in common. I am proud of how Rotary is adapting to meet the challenges of a rapidly changing world. And I have never been more proud to be a Rotarian than I am right now. Now more than ever, Rotary connects the world.
It's good.
Yeah, it actually continues. That's why I'm pausing it there. I know you can't see it right now, but the next one actually talks a little bit about the effect of polio and all the work that was done for polio with the COVID situation, how to address it and how to work with it. I think that might be interesting when we finally go back to that.
That was actually what I filled in at Ann Arbor today on.
Is that right?
Yeah, they, so Ann Arbor North, I had joined their Zoom and their speaker had to leave. It had a work emergency. So Gail Scott asked me right then if I could fill in. And so I filled in on how the polio network is helping with COVID, because that's something a lot of Rotarians didn't realize, all of our resources and what we have.
Lynn, are you in a position to go ahead? No?
Just keep going.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Nidal, go ahead.
Oh, I said it's really going to be much harder doing this work, and I commend you for not giving up on people. That's my point. But what can we do, because one thing going to lead to the others. I mean, people are at higher risk when they have other illnesses with COVID. So we have to keep going. Yeah.
No, that's good.
Thank you for doing that. Yes.
Oh, no,
yes.
No problem at all. And then that's what we're here for, and if we, in any which way we can do it. So.
God bless you all. Yes.
What I can do, I'm not sure how long I'll let it run. When I was looking at it, it could go on a long while, but the next segment addresses things that Rotary does, and one of the first subjects they talk about is polio, or the End Polio now. So I'll let you see this, let me go back into
the Rotarian, but also with other organizations that share our commitment to keeping communities connected and making them healthier, safer, and better prepared. We know from our work in polio eradication and our areas of focus that the impact we make is greater when we leverage the expertise of our partners. I interviewed leaders from several of our global polio eradication initiative partners about what they've learned as they've mobilized their own experts over the past few months. They were generous enough to share their thoughts about how Rotary can be at the forefront of a new effort to safeguard our communities and the world. Let's take a look. Let's talk about the infrastructure from the polio eradication efforts used by governments and other organizations to respond to community needs emerging from COVID-19. How has the legacy of polio eradication informed the global health response to COVID-19?
What we've done in polio is we've trained for an emergency like COVID. So all of the things that you see that are needed in COVID are the ones that we have put in place for polio. And I will highlight one that I hear from all of my friends at WHO, at CDC, at all of the health ministries around the world. And it is the joint work that Rotarians and UNICEF and all of our partners have done to create community health workers. They are the backbone, they are the strength of the community engagement. And that all came from our work on polio. The capacities that we put in place as a partnership are there to be utilized. So every Rotarian should feel so pleased and proud. The infrastructure we have in place is now being used for the world against COVID.
You know, in 35 years, the global polio eradication effort has built up incredible assets, laboratory testing, surveillance, a frontline workforce that of hundreds of thousands who deliver vaccines and polio campaigns around the world. In pretty much every country where the polio eradication initiative is active, which is over 50 countries, those assets have been dedicated to the COVID-19 response. So a lot of the frontline workers doing the contact tracing, doing the surveillance, looking for cases of COVID-19 are polio workers. I was in a discussion last week with the Minister of Health in Pakistan, and he was thanking me and thanking the Rotary and the rest of the polio partnership for how useful the polio team in Pakistan has been in responding to the COVID-19 outbreak there. And that's true in many countries. I just read this morning a very nice piece written by Shidi Moeti, the African Regional Director for the World Health Organization, has an important piece about how the polio teams throughout Africa are being used in the COVID response. Again, the frontline workers, but also the laboratories, the surveillance systems, et cetera. So the world is benefiting, particularly in the poorest countries where we've been chasing down the last cases of polio. We're greatly benefiting from the infrastructure that the polio initiative has built over the last three decades.
The polio infrastructure that Rotarians have helped build and sustained is already being used to address and to be able to inform global health response to COVID-19 as we stop the spread. And I want to just give a few examples of this. The Stop Transmission of Polio are people that we put on the ground to help with surveillance, to make sure we can detect, to help that we have real-time data for decision-making. And STOP teams have been heavily engaged at country level. In early May, in 32 countries where we have Stop Transmission of Polio officers, 48% of their time has been spent on COVID-19 activities, doing contact tracing. So if somebody's positive for COVID-19, tracing the contacts for that case. Also, making sure that the communication planning is done about physical distancing, about the need to make sure of quarantining as well for cases and contacts as needed. And the importance of the data analysis and collection. These components have already been in play. We have seen this in Nigeria, in Liberia as well. And in Pakistan, over 18,000 GPEI workers are helping with health worker training, infection prevention control measures, and also risk communication. So we see already a large response of polio supporting the COVID-19 response.
What lessons can Rotary apply from both our partnership and our polio eradication experience to better define and measure impact in our other work, like combating illiteracy and poverty, championing peace, and fighting other diseases?
I think what we really have come to respect and rely on with Rotary is the tremendous grassroots organization that you are, the confidence that you have of your communities, the presence that you have in your communities. And I think one of the greatest assets is the ability to draw on that in times of challenge, and when we have great challenging initiatives like the effort that we've set out on to eradicate polio, now to control COVID, and there will be other challenges in front of us. And in the little bit of peacetime that we have between all of these challenges, Rotary's ongoing work to build those deep links with communities, to be relevant to your communities, to do good for your communities, is building the foundation on which partners like us, like the World Health Organization, can then leverage, and I mean this in the most positive way, for the greater good when it comes to specific diseases or disasters that we may have to face. Because you build up trust, you build those communities, those local partnerships in time, and the continued club level work in Rotary to be listening to communities, responding with the projects and initiatives that the communities want. Because then when it comes to the big crises, you built the bridges that we will all rely on.
Can you tell us about the partnership between your organization and Rotary International? How have we worked together, and what are some of the highlights of what we've accomplished?
Well, I think our biggest lesson for us is that partners have different skills and partners matter. It's rather like being married, Mark, where your husband or wife, you're going to be together for 20, 40, 50 years. And how do you adjust to each other and your strengths and how you love and respect them? Well, thus it is with Rotary and UNICEF. I think we've just grown to love Rotarians and to respect Rotarians in every country. So in some countries, there are Rotarians who are rolling up their sleeves. They come out and they help with community workers. There are others where they are surveying and supervising to check the quality for what is going on in these communities.
You want me to let it continue, or do we go back to our conversation?
How long is it?
You know, I don't know. The whole thing runs another 20 minutes, but I don't think this part runs 20 minutes.
I mean, we're getting an idea of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
fine.
There we go.
Thank you.
So did we determine if Stephen is here?
Stephen is still here. I don't know that he's listening. He has to if he's on. And he isn't muted, but he's not been joining the conversation. So maybe he has some technical issues there with no microphone or something. He may just have joined by phone without the microphone.
I think so.
That's okay. I'll talk to him later. I'm glad he joined us anyway.
Yeah.
And he must be watching the screen, because it'd be a long time to just be on the phone and only hear what we're saying and not watch any of that. Anyway, that was all I really had planned for the night. There was a couple of other things that if we hadn't got into the discussions in the beginning, I found quite a number of good virtual meeting humor. So things like, believe it or not, on YouTube, there's a Seinfeld guide of how to not do certain things in virtual meetings. It was quite funny, but I won't start it now. And there's a big collection, and ours will be part of that collection going forward, including this one, of videos of clubs doing their virtual meetings. So going forward, we'll be doing the same. Ours will be out on YouTube shortly. There'll be a channel for Farmington Rotary Club, and the videos of each of our meetings will be out there. It takes a little bit of work afterwards to call out the lead-in, where what we used to have problems with when people were joining the meetings is, are you connected now? Are you somewhere near here? What's that?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, and there was a lot of that, and there still is. Usually, although I haven't done it in this meeting, one of the things I've been having to do is to tell people how to use a virtual meeting background, so that we could do things like what Lynn was doing there and what I did, put back up my Rotary meeting. And we need to deal into things like Ginger was having, where it doesn't work on everybody's computer, and how do we fix that, or how do we make it better to do that? The other thing that's good about the system in general is the ability to share a screen. So if you've got photos or a little PowerPoint or something you wanted to present, using share is fabulous. It's just so easy to put those together and then do it. And you can, as you saw, at least we tried with Lynn this time, any participant in the meeting, if we allow it, can be one of the presenters using a share screen. So I was going to let us just take an end to this. The meeting can run on for a long time now, because we don't have a limit on our meeting time. We kind of like the 45-minute limit so we can make sure the meeting stops. So I will be the time limiter today and say